our second theme, which is forming strategic partnerships and common agendas. So I'll jump into it. And the first question is, what types of organizations do you typically partner with? So example, we mentioned earlier, nonprofits, government agencies, schools, private sectors. And how do you determine which are the right fit for collaboration for you guys?
So we partner with families, universities, and local community organizations. We determine the fit based on shared values, commitment to child-centered learning, and alignment with early childhood best practices.
Okay, that makes sense. Love that. And how do you establish and formalize partnerships?
So university partnerships are formalized through internship agreements or MOUs.
Okay, and that makes sense because obviously we had an agreement with I had an agreement with you, and then I did the agreement contract with my university at ASU as well. So that's pretty common. But do you use like written agreements? Like I know the answer to this, but for like do you use written agreements? Examples obviously the MOUs, the contracts, and what factors influence whether the partnership is formal or informal?
Yes, we do the written agreements, especially for internships. Uh, Also, like informal partnerships such as family collaborations are guided by shared expectations and open communication.
Okay, and how do you ensure agreements reflect shared goals and responsibilities?
So we try to clearly define the roles, the supervision expectations, and learning objectives before beginning.
Okay, and that clearly makes sense because obviously a year ago when I started with you guys, there was, obviously that period of like what were the obligations, responsibilities, and expectations in my role. So that makes sense. And obviously going forth with like other internships and other hires, I'm sure you probably go through the similar process with when it comes to agreements. Um, so the next question would be how are partnership agreements structured and finalized?
Uh, so the agreements, they just outline like the responsibilities, supervision, safety expectations, and communication procedures.
Okay, great. And that's literally like what I just mentioned. So again, I apologize if some of the questions are kind of like repeated. But it's just like I might know the answers, but for the interview, you might have to just repeat yourself. So I
Yeah.
apologize and I appreciate it. And so what key elements ensure alignment between partners?
We have a shared mission, clear expectations, and consistent communication.
Perfect. And how do you revisit and adapt agreements like over time to meet like evolving needs? Like obviously things change. Everything's always changing, especially in education. So yeah, like how do you revisit that or change things? So
We always review partnerships annually or as needed based on classroom and community needs.
okay, so you do check on that. That makes sense. So as needed, you kind of like revisit and change some of the agreements and expectations. Perfect. We're going into our third theme, which is